Growing up, of my friends that I had, really I'm the only one that went to college. And it's not because that they didn't make the good enough grades to go, or it's not because they didn't want to go. They simply couldn't afford it. They didn't have the financial leverage of parents that I had. The state should have helped them, and here's why. If the state funded a 4-year college program, the individual who took part in that program would have the ability to grow and better their own life. All form of government can continue to work, and our parents can spend more time with kids preparing them to succeed. Here's what I mean. Sherry Faber wrote an article called The Positive Effects of a College Degree. A quote she had in there was, "The advantages of a college degree are a good education and the ways and means for gainful employment." So if you have gainful employment, you're probably going to live a little bit of a better life. But not only that, graduates tend to feel a greater sense of satisfaction in their careers. So if you have better jobs and you feel better about going to work, so you're going to work harder, which is going to push you to that next level in your own career, you're going to have more incomable tax, which helps our state. And if I have more income, I'm going to want to buy more things. Everything has a tax on it nowadays. On average, actually, you earn an extra 10 grand a year versus a non-college graduate. Also, with a college degree, you get better health benefits, meaning that all these unpaid medical bills that are stacking at the mailbox, we can start paying those off finally. Can our form of government continue to work without a different way of college to pay for college? Here's what I mean. Dr. Glenn David Brasher, he is a history professor at the University of West Alabama. I took a class of his American History Part 1, not number 1, Part 1. So when our founding fathers were creating our form of government that we use today, we chose the republic. One of the reasons for that was because we have an abundance of land. At the time we did. Because of this abundance of land, there won't be that high of a gap between the rich and the poor. Well, that's not the case anymore. Between 2019, there's thousands of unemployed and homeless people begging on the streets outside. And this isn't even that big of a city compared to New York, Boston, Chicago, LA. So if we don't do anything about this, that gap between the rich and the poor is going to keep getting bigger. And this isn't even a proven form of government we have. Rome tried this before us, and they failed about 300 years, which we're not even at 300 years yet. So this is still a tested government. We're still testing this. So if we don't find a way to bridge this gap between the rich and the poor, because right now, 40% of all the nation's wealth is owned by the top 1% of all the nation. That means the other 60% is owned by the other 99%. So that gap between the rich and the poor is huge. The way to fix this is middle-class working jobs, which normally need a college degree. So if our state can help us with this, we can keep our state and local and federal governments working. Last thing I want to look at is how will this affect our parents' life? See, a quote by the motivational speaker Prince E.A. The number one component of an individual's success is home-cooked meals, quality time spent with parent and kid. Right now, college at a public state school costs about $40,000 a year. That's for everything. Not a year, $40,000 for the 4-year degree. $40,000 is a lot of money. I don't care who you are. $40,000 is a lot. So a lot of times, parents have to make the hard choice of spending more time at work than with their kids so they can save up enough money to send their kid to school, which is the hard but true fact of life. So we're not preparing our future by this. If the number one component is quality time by home-cooked meals, we're not allowing these home-cooked meals because we're having to go to work and stuff like that. Spend more time at work. You have to go to work, but spend more time at work than we can't spare any because a lot of times these parents are working hourly jobs for not paid salary. So if they don't go to work, they don't get paid. So if we can get these jobs, to get better jobs, higher paying jobs, maybe we can actually spend more time with our kids then on the back end of things when we have kids and I'm trying to prepare for the next future. Now, before you make your decision, I want you to remember three things. Our form of government is not set in stone. It's not a proven thing yet. We have not passed Rome's length of time before they failed. And it helped me not have this massive debt to begin life with. Because, college costs $40,000. It's a lot of money. I know I got lucky. I have financial aid. But that means when I get out of school with interest, that's going to turn into about $50,000. It's a lot of money. And a student's real success begins with a home-cooked meal. So give parents time to provide us this home-cooked meal and quality time to be spent. So what's your decision to be?